6 years ago, Kristen Anderson-Lopez and Robert Lopez wrote a song so good that Disney reworked the entire movie at the last minute to showcase Let It Go. And when the movie was released, the entire soundtrack became a phenomenon. I've sat through the sing-alongs at the theme parks to attest to it. Oh boy, have I. And phrases like "let it go" and "do you want to build a snowman" became part of the pop culture lexicon. So, like, no pressure, right, with this second movie. Is the soundtrack for Frozen 2 as good as the first one? Well, that's hard for me to say because I didn't like the first one. But I will tell you, and I know some of you were there with me. Maybe you started there with me. Maybe you got there after listening to it on loop, right? For someone that you know, that you love, that just couldn't stop. But speaking of listening to things on loop, it's happened to me with this second movie, because for the last few days, I saw the movie early last week. Well, I've been listening to Into the Unknown constantly. There's a catch though. I'm partial to the Panic in the Disco cover from the end credits over the Idina Menzel version used in the movie, which you could argue is the original. I know, to some of you that will be blasphemous, but I likes what I likes. And on that note, here are my rankings of the songs from Frozen 2. And be sure to share your own rankings in the comments down below. I wonder how different ours will be, especially because, again, as I said, I did not care for the music in the first film. I don't totally care for the music in this film, to be honest with you. But I think there are some winners. And I think that I appreciate the songs in this soundtrack more than I did the first movie. And you're about to see why. All right, so number one, of course, is Into the Unknown, right? As I just said, this one's stuck in my head. I really like it. And while I might prefer Panic in the Disco singing, I do love Elsa's performance in the movie. Yes, this sequence is the one that I thought was so powerful and so well done. I mean, I think this to me is Let It Go was a little bit like Broadway to me, which is why some people like it. But I thought the acting from Elsa here was probably as good as the acting in Part of Your World, which, before Elsa, there was Ariel when it came to siren songstresses. And of course, I'm getting to know the lyrics. I always say that I can't really discern the lyrics in the Lopez's music, but I've listened to this one enough that I'm starting to be able to sing along. Well, when I go to the sing-alongs now, the new ones, at least I'll have one song that I can participate in. All right, so I thought this performance was so good, the sequence, that it really brought me on board for the movie. After what I felt was the super wonky first 10 to 15 minutes. I thought maybe we were going down the same road as the first movie, but this one I was like, this is something special. Yes, like all of us, Elsa can really rock out in her pajamas when she's all by herself. Okay, and I've been singing along with the Panic in the Disco one. Maybe I should give the Idina Menzel one another try. I tried it once again, and I was like, nope, still like Panic in the Disco better. But it did remind me it's not Idina Menzel's performance, but what the animators did, and I continue to think it was very impressive. All right, the number two is Lost in the Woods. Jonathan Groff and Kristoff got on the board. And everyone for the first movie was like, why doesn't Kristoff have a song if he's voiced by Jonathan Groff, who is a famous Broadway singer, and from Glee, and from Mindhunter? That's my Jonathan Groff. And also I liked Looking on HBO. I think he's very talented. I wish he worked more. So anyway, I have a love-hate relationship with Kristoff. I hate him because he's Kristoff, but I love him because he's Jonathan Groff. Okay, so anyway, as I said in my spoiler review, it's not so much the song that I love here, but that the movie does the musical number in the parody of a 90s music video. I think that's so funny. Kristoff looking off into the distance, all angsty, leaning up against trees, doing that fist move, right? I'm not even sure if he did it, but I think he did. I've only seen the movie once. I'm going to be seeing it more. But anyway, it was everything I didn't know that I wanted, and it made me actually like Kristoff a little bit more as a character. He's a freeloader. I'm sorry. All right, number three, The Next Right Thing. Now here, what I like isn't so much the vocals or Anna's performance. Don't worry, it's good. But what I like is the message of this song. Anna, having lost both her sister and Olaf disintegrating in her arms. I know, the movie got dark, right? but she's alone, trapped underground in a cave. And she realizes, 127 hours style, that there ain't nobody who's going to save her but herself. Although, to be fair, it was nice that this comes from Lieutenant Matthias's pep talk to her. Well, it was more of like how he pep talked himself, right? She was like, how did you do it? How did you survive in the Enchanted Forest, as a prisoner? And he was like, well, you just, instead of putting one foot in front of the other, he says, you just do the next right thing. He qualified it even. So, I mean, Anna's a little bit of a mess, which I think is what makes her so relatable, but she'd be like, how do I know what the next right thing to do is, right? Putting one foot in front of the other, there's only one way to do that. So, but still, jokes aside, I thought it was really great. So I guess it was, maybe it was the performance. Maybe it was even the vocals. Because while I was watching the song, this musical performance, I could see that it was a really great message. And I was getting the feels, even though I wasn't tapping my toes. See what I'm saying? So yeah, it's about picking yourself up and moving past tragedy. And so for that, I have a lot of respect for this musical number. I don't want to so much listen to the song, but I'm glad it's out there, and I hope it helps people. All right, number 4, When I Am Older. This is Olaf's big number this time around. He has a duet, which is coming up. It's towards the bottom of this list, as you can see. But this one, I have to say, I do prefer from the first movie, In Summer. And the two are strikingly similar. I think Olaf, maybe he could use a little more variety in his repartee. But the romp is cute, right? And I liked the visuals. I thought it was funny and how it's used at that moment in the story. But clearly, he was in danger, right? Even if he was older, he would realize it. And he was just lying to himself to make himself feel better. So I don't quite feel how this song going forward would be helpful to anyone. I don't know why you'd want to sing a song that was a bunch of lies. And not even in a funny way, right? Or it's not like the lyrics themselves are lies, and that could be kind of funny. It's a little bit of a nonsense song, although I guess those can be popular. All right, so number 5, Show Yourself. Now, of course, this is the song that accompanies Elsa's stunning second transformation. She has a second mutation, like a mutant. If you're an X-Men fan in the comics, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I thought having her sing with her dead mom was a bit much. Even for We Love to Kill Off Parents, Disney. I thought about that, Disney always killing off parents several times during this movie, as they kept kind of killing Elsa and Anna's parents again and again and again. It was emotionally powerful, though. What are you, Pixar? Come on, Disney Animation. But also, during this musical number, Elsa was surrounded by the ice memories of through her whole life, happier times, and then she was standing amongst those frozen memories all by herself in a different cave from Anna, come to think of it. Well, I was just like, Elsa, you continue to make unhealthy choices. I was like, so you're going to live alone in the woods, but with frozen ice people to keep you company? You're just you alone with your memories, singing with your dead mom? I just couldn't even get into this song because I couldn't get past the setup. All right, number 6, Some Things Never Change. This is the duet, and I absolutely hated this song. To me, it was the worst part of the movie, and it gave me traumatic flashbacks to sitting through the first Frozen. I was like, is the whole movie gonna be like this? I mean, it was just so awkwardly done, too. They just ran right into it. They were like, oh, time to sing, that's why you're here, right? And I was like, I'm here for story and cool power usage and stuff. I'm actually here for the singing last. So the fact that they got into it so quickly, and I thought it was so horrible, really made me nervous. Although I have to say, I was fascinated by the fact that you could see that Elsa and Anna, because it's on a side note, you could see it the most in this sequence, that they were wearing high heels. I don't think I've ever seen that in a Disney princess movie. And also, this is a Disney Queen movie, thank you very much, but they not only had high heels on, but they looked stunningly realistic, actual high heels. Not cartoon painted on high heels, which is what they are, but I actually felt that Anna and Elsa were wearing high heels. Very nice ones too, by the way. All right, so anyway, they were cool. All right, so number 7, All Is Found. Now this is the Northuldra lullaby that Elsa and Anna's mom sings to them when they were little, and that they keep singing to each other as adults, which I also think is kind of weird. I'm like, you're trying to take the place of mom? No one will ever sing this song again. That's kind of how I feel about it. But I can't even remember how it goes. I remember the scarf, but I can't remember how the song goes. That's a little of an impression it made on me. So that's why it's dead last. Then honorable mention though, speaking of the North Ultra, I loved their chant, which is buried on the deluxe soundtrack, like way in the back under Reindeer Circle. I don't even know if it took place during a Reindeer Circle, because it wasn't when Christoph was trying to propose. I don't know what was going on there, but it was beautiful. And I can't wait to hear that piped into the theme parks sooner rather than later. It was great. Now, interestingly, there are also, because I was looking for this chant. I was like, is the chant not on the soundtrack? So I was scrolling through it, and way in the back, well, actually in the middle, because they put all the instrumentals in the very back, and the Reindeer Circle's like way like last place, which is stupid. But in the middle, they have all these cut songs that didn't make it into the movie on the deluxe album again. And I think that's very odd. I don't think that's ever been done before. I don't think we've ever had, there's 4 of them, 4 cut songs. Now, by the way, just like the first Frozen was significantly reworked at the last minute because they wanted to showcase Let It Go, and they were like, maybe Elsa's a hero or an anti-hero. That's why they had to rework it then. This time around, having to do with what happens to Olaf and I believe a couple other things, this one was also significantly reworked at the last minute. So I wonder if they even animated these songs. Is there animation to go along with these cut songs? I would like to see that. But listening to them, I couldn't get through it, to be honest with you. So I'm curious, did any of you listen to the cut songs? And if so, are any of them worth the rest of us checking out? All right, so share your thoughts and your own rankings down below of the soundtrack for Frozen 2. Subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos, including tons of Frozen spoiler content right now.